So, how do we do programming in C++? You can certainly write C++ programs by having a simple terminal and text editor. But modern convention is to use something called IDEs or integrated development environments. Now, these often come as lightweight cloud based IDEs. Examples are things like Code Anywhere or Cloud9. Now, these are accessible from anywhere where you have a browser and internet access, and they give you an editor to write your program and give you a terminal to compile and run your program. They will color code your syntax for easier readability. They will allow you to set breakpoints and inspect the program as it's running. An alternative approach, and one that I am recommending, is to install an IDE on your desktop and laptop. And the one we can use for this course is CLion, which is a C++ IDE. So let's move on and write our first program. Now, Hello World is traditionally the first program one writes when learning a new language or technology. The program simply starts up, prints hello world, and stops. So let's write this in C++. Now let's assume that our file, our program file, is called helloworld.cpp. Now the file extension CPP stands for C++. But however, your file name could be anything. So this is our Hello World program, and let's look at it line by line, right? So a C++ program contains one or more statements that the compiler takes and converts into a file that can be run. The first line here is what's called an include directive. It tells the compiler to pull in additional functionality, in this case, input-output support for printing and reading stuff from your screen. Right. The next line is a blank line. Right after that is this line that starts with slash slash. This is not a statement. This is a comment. It's a description meant for a human being to tell them what's happening in this part of the program and is ignored by the compiler. The next three lines are the definition of a function. Now, this is a special function called main. Main is the first thing that a C++ program execute. It is where the C++ program starts, regardless of what is in the file before it or after it, right? The thing within the curly braces is the body of the function, right? It is typically made up of multiple statements. Now, in this case, there is only a single statement. And let's look at this statement in detail. One thing to note is all statements end with a semicolon, right? Every time you have a statement, at the end of it will be a semicolon. Now, this statement is calling yet another function called printf. And where do we get this function from? It's being pulled in by the include directive that was in the first line. This function, as an argument, as input, takes a piece of text, right? So within the parentheses. The text itself is enclosed in double quotes. And it takes that and basically outputs it right back onto the screen. This piece of text is referred to as a string. Right? There is a slash n here at the end, which tells it that after you print the hello world, just go to a new line. Okay, so that is a lot of things happening in this little function that we had to absorb quickly. Now, let's do one more thing. Now, this is not a typical way we would write a C++ hello world. This is how I started to make it kind of simpler. Typical C++ hello world example will use what's called a stream. So we will pull in stream functionality by a different include directive. Here we're pulling in IOStream. Now, the rest of the program is largely the same. The print statement has been replaced by this thing. Now, the C out here is something you get as part of pulling in the IOStream library. It represents the screen. And you can send things to the screen by using the less than symbol, right? And so here we're sending the hello world text to the screen. The end L that we're sending is basically we're sending a new line to the screen. So this is equivalent to the printf example that we had earlier. The last remaining thing here that is new is this using namespace std. This is just a convenience. It allows us to use cout instead of std colon cout. It is something that is not that important for this class. It is just a convenience to allow us to have simpler syntax.